Hi, everybody. I'm Neal Sinno. I'm the Chief Revenue Officer of Spot.IM. Spot.IM is a community building platform working with some of the world's biggest publishers. Just a quick background on us. We just recently completed our second round of funding of our total of $65 million. And right now we're working with about 80% of the world's top tier publishers. Here's a few of the publishers we work with. This is a small list of about 750 that we're currently working with. As you can see, we work with a lot of different shapes and sizes in the publisher market, from top-tier sports and entertainment sites and lifestyle sites across all the different geographies. Today is a kind of a complex world for a lot of publishers. They have unreliable platforms in which they're trying to gather users from, like Facebook and Google. Recent algorithm changes have hurt large publishers like Daily Mail as early as, or recently as last week. They're looking at changing business models. They're trying to do more with less ads, trying to test out new technologies like subscriptions. And they're battling for loyalty for the users. Users aren't really addicted to any one particular platform or page. They're jumping around to different places. So publishers are starting to look at new things like lifetime value. This is an old topic from people that have been in the mobile world. But lifetime value is a way of trying to gather the most from the users and have them come back over and over again. And while the mobile ad spend has continued to grow year over year, user-focused revenue streams like paywalls and subscriptions are starting to gain some steam. We help address this with the Spot.IM community platform, starting with our flagship product, our commenting system, which we call Conversations, to a bunch of other features and functionality like building profiles for sites, creating followers, and notification systems that the publishers leverage using our tech. Here's a quick overview of that flagship product, our Conversations. It's embedded into every publisher's page on their websites. It's commenting re-envisioned, I like to call it. So not just a static commenting that we've seen in the past, but a new version of comments that provides real-time updates live on the page. So for those of us that are old enough to remember Facebook before they had the news feed, when it looked like a static environment, this helps create that kind of fresh, dynamic feeling on a web page. That allows users to see that there is just more than them visiting this web page and that there's a critical mass of users. We follow that up with our popular in the community feature. And essentially what this is I like to call it a reverse tabula. This is made to gather more page views for the publisher just within their ecosystem. And specifically what it does is it surfaces the editorial articles that the publisher has based on the number of comments the article receives. So not just page views, but it's surfacing the articles that have the most engagement overall. This is also where we run our monetization that we use to pay for the product. Moderation is one of the key factors that comes up with every publisher. They're always worried about the quality of the comments that's attached to their editorial. And from our standpoint, we led with this piece of our business with most of our publishers. We built a great AI-driven moderation system that's actually run in behind the scenes and flagging content, not just based on keywords, but also looking at the context of the actual comments themselves and how those words are applied. We run this for every one of our publishers. It does 90% of the work automatically, but if we've learned anything from the Terminator movies in the past, don't trust the technology. We do add a little element of a human element on top of it to make sure that anything that does get missed can be actually moderated out by humans. And we run this on some of the world's biggest sites. We run this technology on AOL, on the Times of London, and even on the Fox News sites in the US. And if anyone's ever spent any time on that site or knows about the audience, you'll know that that's a particularly difficult audience in order to moderate, and we are able to keep that extremely clean. We build things like toxic levels into the moderation as well. So if there's repeat offenders that are continuing to do bad things within the ecosystem on our publisher's site, we can actually flag them and look at them more specifically than other users. Finally, we have community pages, and the purpose of community pages is to take unused or underutilized real estate like a publisher's topic pages and turn it into something a little bit richer and more engaging. And what we do, similar to our recirculation unit I showed you earlier, is this tool actually scrapes the publisher's pages based on the most popular content they have, based on comments, and repurposes it again on a topic page for SEO purposes. And so what these pages do is they automatically create a new page filled with the publisher's existing content and represents it to the users based on what their interests are. So if you're really interested in something like politics, you can go to a particular page, now a topic page, and find the relevant content that you're actually looking for. Here's an example of videos and advertisements and all kinds of rich content that's embedded into a topic page. And it works. What we typically see is that engagement comes in lots of different shapes and flavors when you're dealing with community. We look at engagement as something as simple as a comment, but we also look at engagement as something as a reply to somebody else's comment, as a like of somebody else's comment, or a view of the comment sections. So me personally, we all have different behaviors. I'm not a typical person that would leave a comment, but I am a person that will spend time reading the comments. And from a publisher standpoint, there's a lot of inherent value there. As I stay on their page longer, I read the comments for a longer period of time, I consume more ads, I register within their system, and I typically come back more frequently. And here's a couple of quick case studies of a few of our partners. AOL, we reduced their moderation needs by 96% by leveraging our AI technology and moderation platform. At the time when we implemented our tech, they had literally hundreds of people monitoring comments across their domains, and we took that down to basically nothing for them. And we also increased engagement significantly. You can go on the AOL properties both in the US, Canada, and globally and actually see this technology in action. Engadget, which is also part of the Verizon Media family, also saw increased engagement through the comments, and their page views per session for their individual user increased by 41%. That's incremental value not only in the time on page, but also in the revenue that they receive from that engagement. So we're building the best communities in the world, and if you have any questions, I'll be here as well to answer any questions. Thanks very much.